Welcome back to the Power Maxed Mini Challenge from Oulton Park. Now, being a bit of a special weekend, the championship have decided to throw in something a little bit different for the next race. And it's something that will really test our drivers' skills. And the mini challenge is always about fun. There's no denying that. Now, a fun and popular feature of the mini festival is the grid walk. This is where fans get a chance to get up close and personal with the stars of the show. So with the Gen 3s and JCWs already lined up, let's get the tarmac cleared and head over to Ben.
Thanks, Michelle. So it's going to be Charlie Butler-Henderson on pole position alongside William Phillips as away we go for the first time for the F56s and JCWs this weekend. And it's Phillips who gets the jump off the line. He leads the way into Old Hall from David Grady and Charlie Butler-Henderson with Lee Patterson also sniffing just in behind as they make it through Old Hall. One or two of them bumping and boring a little bit wide amongst the JCWs. It's Phillips who's got the advantage but goes very, very sideways into Cascades, and that immediately promotes Butler-Henderson and Patterson as William Phillips rejoins quite some way down the order as they sprint on towards Island Bend. Oh, with a huge accident behind, and that's Chris Boone who has been fired into the barriers. Henry Gilbert involved in that as well, plus one or two others, and that is a massive, massive off for Boone, because that is one of the fastest sections of the circuit, and already Henry Gilbert out of the car and possibly off in remonstration. The race continues, however, and it is still Butler-Henderson who leads the way. He has broken clear of Lee Patterson, although for how long you have to wonder, because the safety car would appear to be something of an inevitability. Meanwhile, Sam Osborne is there in pursuit of Ryan Road and trying to squeeze his way past, likewise Lawrence Davey looking to make ground. Well, that is what we want to see, drivers out of the car. There's a lot of debris and the track largely blocked. No indication just yet for the safety car boards. William Phillips, the driver who's really lost out the most on this first lap, he has dropped all the way down the tail of the F56 battle. It's Hamish Brandon who is the foremost amongst the JCWs as they head through Lodge Corner, and now the safety car board comes out and the field is slowed by Butler-Henderson. Now Rico and Chris James, Henry Gilbert appeared to have turned across him. It was Chris Boone who was the driver who got absolutely fired into incident as James then still comes traffic in car with Chris Boone. Well, they certainly build these Power Max Mini Challenge races strong. Glad to report no injuries, but as the red flag comes out, that unfortunately looks like it probably won't polish out for Boone. So here is the top 10 in the F56s for the restarted race, with Butler-Henderson and William Phillips on the front row, from then Patterson and Grady, Ryan Road and Luke Reed. Amongst the JCWs, Neil Newston and Hamish Brandon at the front, from Kevin O'Connor and Steve Ruxton Cocker. So, second time around, let's see how we get on. Revs rise, and away we go. That's a much better start from Charlie Butler-Henderson, who would appear to have converted it, or has he, because William Phillips draws alongside him and looks to challenge into Old Hall, but it's Butler-Henderson who leads through the opening turn. It's behind Ryan Road and Sam Osborne do battle. Rob Smith runs wide a little bit further back. It's Hamish Brandon who has immediately jumped clear in the JCWs, in car with Lee Patterson in third position. Downshifts through Cascades, then they sprint along towards Island Bend. And now the key for Butler-Henderson is, will he be able to keep those behind him all the way through to the flag? It could be tricky to overtake here at Oulton Park. We've seen that in the British Touring Car Championship already this year. But Henderson knows if he sticks to the racing line, it's going to be pretty tricky for those behind. But it's quite the queue that's beginning to form up. There is Ryan Rhodes. He's got the bright blue car of Lawrence Davey just tucked in behind him. Harry Volkard also in and amongst that gaggle of cars. Meanwhile, the front of the JCW runners, possibly in amongst some of the slower F56s, as Butler Henderson trying to keep it nice and smooth on this opening lap, and nobody wants to concede any ground to the car in front. They're all content to run as a pack just at the moment. Luke Reed well up in these early stages. We've got this battle there, the JCW runners, with Neil Newsted having quite a queue behind him as Hamish Brandon looks to ease away as they accelerate on through Druids. Here comes Brandon now. He's got one or two cars just ahead of him. That's Chris Oakman immediately in front of him in his 56. As now Lawrence Davey looks to the inside of Ryan Road. This has been the move most likely to happen all the way through the course of this lap, really. Davey clearly feels he's got a very quick car underneath him, as Butler Henderson just covers the inside line into Oulton, makes sure there's no way past William Phillips as they swing through Oulton, out over the rumble strip and then down through the avenue into Cascades. Well, frustrating for Lawrence Davey. He couldn't see potentially the race leaders beginning to now break away somewhat, because we've got Butler Henderson, then Phillips, Lee Patterson and David Grady. There's now Lawrence Davey coming under a little bit of pressure from the bright yellow car. That's Harry Volkard. And then they've got Sam Osborne, Ben Spallog just in behind them. Through Shell Oil's corner, out over the crest, picking up the throttle and accelerating on towards Britain's. One of the two chicanes that intercept this long back stretch at Oulton Park, and for safety reasons in the 80s and 90s respectively. Certainly in two Hislops there is that overtaking potential, but nobody quite close enough to challenge on this occasion. There is David Grady in fourth. He's got Luke Reed just behind him as they flick through Knickerbock. Oh, and Luke Reed gets it all wrong. The car bounces sideways, and as Reed has to correct it, that fires him off through the gravel trap, and Luke Reed losing a lot of ground as a result. That will demote him all the way down towards the bottom of the top 10. It was a tiny mistake as he just put a wheel on the grass and tipped the car sideways as he unwound the steering lock. That meant no option really but to run into and through the gravel trap. So now it is Road who moves up into fifth. He has Lawrence Davey remaining on his tail. Meanwhile, David Grady in fourth, just beginning to apply a little bit of pressure to Lee Patterson as in the JCW class. Newstead looking to try and move clear of Jason Jeffries, but Jeffries doing a good job in defence. They've got the blue car of Kevin O'Connor just behind them. They're all in pursuit of class leader Hamish Brandon, who's just behind Jason Barlow, and Chris Oakman is now Newstead again, looks to the inside of Jeffries through Oulton. Well, there wasn't much space there, but Neil Newstead able to get his elbows out and find a way past. So Neil Newstead is up to second amongst the JCWs. Here is Craig Freeman, who's doing battle with Callum King, again in the JCW class. And they've got Steve Ruxton Cockett just in behind them as their class leader. Hamish Brandon, who's got this great battle between Oakman and Barlow going on ahead of him, and they make contact. In fact, Chris Oakman barges into the side of Jason Barlow, and that is now giving Neil Newstead the opportunity to really challenge Hamish Brandon, and this is not what Brandon wants late on in the race. And the problem that Hamish Brandon has got is he's got much more corner speed than Jason Barlow ahead of him, but then Barlow can pull clear on the straights once more. So Hamish Brandon would dearly love to get the car of Barlow between himself and Neil Newstead. As it is, Hamish Brandon has to defend from Neil Newstead into Hizzies, which he manages to do, so no way past for Neil Newstead. As they accelerate out of Hizzies and then up over Clay Hill. Next target is Druids, and also beginning to insert himself into the mix is Kevin O'Connor, as here comes Charlie Butler Henderson. This has been a magnificently controlled race from Butler Henderson. There's been no way past William Phillips. The same goes for Lee Patterson. So Butler Henderson accelerates up onto the start and finish stretch. The checkered flag goes out, and Charlie Butler Henderson takes the win from William Phillips and Lee Patterson. So Butler Henderson celebrates victory, but what about the JCW class? Here it comes now, and Hamish Brandon defending from Neil Newstead, but Neil Newstead has to consult his mirrors because he has Kevin O'Connor snapping at his heels as they turn through Lodge. And then on towards the flag. It's been a very fine drive from Hamish Brandon. He takes the class victory. Neil Newstead does indeed hold off Kevin O'Connor at the line. Some ferocious racing throughout the field then. Let's take a look at the classification. So in the F56s, Butler Henderson wins it from Phillips and Patterson, and then it's David Grady, Ryan Rode and Lawrence Davey. Luke Reed recovering to 10th after his moment. In the JCW class, Hamish Brandon victorious from Neil Newstead, and Kevin O'Connor with Jason Jeffries just off the podium. So the Panda out in honour of JCW class winner Hamish Brandon, who celebrates on the rostrum. And for the F56s, the all-important reverse grid draw for Charlie Butler Henderson, and that's going to be the top 5.
I haven't been pole in a qualifier for ages, so loved it. If only I'd have just got fastest lap, that would have just been the icing on the cake. But a win, amazing. So championship points, I'm going to try and get as much as I can, like as best I can, and salvage what I missed from Brands Hatch.
My car got finished Thursday night at midnight. I had no engine, no box, I had no turbo boost. I had loads of problems with the car, so the guys have been a lot of blood, sweat and tears for the past 2 weeks. Close to saying, you know what, we're not going to make Oulton. It was getting that close. So really it was, I had to win that one for them, and a massive thanks to Interceptor and Inmini.
A frenetic first lap resulting in a red flag and a restart, and then a race that was just over half the normal time. It was all going on, drama everywhere. But I think you'll agree, a triumphant return for Charlie Butler Henderson and a great result for Hamish Brandon as well. Join us again after the break, where the Coopers will be back in action.